back in like December, right?
Well, it was like, yeah, it was right after we got to play the Wii the first time, and that actually never got released. And so
It was cuts.
yeah.
Somewhere there.
Hi, Andy. How's Rick these days?
But you see, right here.
Hello, I'm finished. I've been Hello, and welcome to the BenHeck.com podcast. This is my new podcast by gamers, for gamers from the real-life suburbs of America, specifically Wisconsin. Joining me today is my co-host, Jason Jones.
Hello, everybody.
Who was in Fort Washington, D.C., and also lives down the street.
In a world where podcasts have become and red.
Welcome inside for not games. I'm not a big fan of them. I've always kind of, I don't really understand it, but Jones likes them, so we're going to have it out. It will be a battle beyond imagining.
Topic 2, best and worst controllers of ages. We've got a list here of the best and worst. One controller is on both lists, so that's right. That should be interesting. Then we'll talk about our own personal favorite controllers, so I guess we're going to pick one with him.
And our third and final topic is upcoming games of interest and uninterest. What titles are we interested in? What titles are we sick of hearing? AKA the snakes on a plane of video games. Yep, I cannot escape it. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I guess let's get started and talk about RPGs, which stands for role-playing game, or rock-and-roll games, role-playing game. That's kind of, I used the joke earlier, and I was like, well, what do you define a role-playing game? That myself, or the discussion along, I'm sure it's like many things, it means different things. Okay, well, I guess I mean like Final Fantasy. You've got a bunch of cartoon characters walking around, and then all of a sudden the music goes, the screen zooms in, and then everybody's kind of like gyrating in place, and then like a monster waving tentacles around, and you hand moving around, and then that's how you fight. It's turn-based combat. Yeah. Okay. See, to me, that's like scrolling through windows or something, you know? Like, I guess I never got into it, so I feel like for my money, I mean, I look at it differently. I actually call something like Oblivion or role-playing game, although I did like the Final Fantasy games as well. I mean, Oblivion kind of falls into the same convention. You know, you've got to talk to people, like the large story, you meet up, you help people along the way, you got to go find crap, you know, you level up, you do all that sort of stuff. So, I don't know, so I kind of define it differently, I guess. So that's kind of where the conflict comes in, I guess. But I like stuff like I love Final Fantasy 2 for the Super Nintendo. I played 3 years of that one, actually. Final Fantasy 7, I poured like 45 hours of my life into that.
Yeah, I guess I just never really understood it. I mean, I guess there's a, you know, some people like that kind of game. I guess I don't. I'm probably kind of a minority on that. But, I mean, I agree with you about like Oblivion. Yeah, I like Oblivion too, but you know, that's like, okay, if a monster's coming, I guess I better push this button before he hits me.
And you can actually fight in real time.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And a lot of games, like most of the newer Castlevanias with like Symphony of the Night are all like, they have all this role-playing game, plus it's like an action-adventure game on top. So I guess I just not only a fan of turn-based combat.
Yeah, which I can understand that. I mean, it's pretty frustrating, you know, you're sitting there and fighting some dude, you know, and you're stuck for, you know, like they're down to barely any energy left, and then your guy, like, misses, like, 5 times in a row, and it's like, damn it, come on. You know, it's like, it shouldn't be this hard. You should be able to hit 1 in 5 times, you know. But
yeah.
So I can see where that could be a frustrating angle to it, but overall, I always have enjoyed role-playing games.
I mean, it's probably not even really a whole topic for us.
No.
But that's okay, because maybe our show won't run so long.
Yeah.
Neither of us play World of Warcraft or are on MySpace, which makes us
outcast of society.
I was gonna say, is World of Warcraft like turn-based, or I've seen people play it, but I never really understood.
You know, I'm not sure. It's probably more like the old Warcraft games where basically you just said attack this thing, and your guys would just sit there and keep attacking over and over, like you didn't have to, you know, mash buttons, and you didn't have to do turn-based combat. It was just kind of whoever had the stronger force would kill off the other guys. But yeah, probably the limiting factor for role-playing games for me anymore is it's got to be one hell of a game for me to put that much time into it, because that's like, you know, now I got a job and I'm married and all this crap, you know, I don't have a lot of time, and I've got a basement that's sucking the life out of me trying to finish it. And so it's like, I don't have a lot of time to commit to these things, but like Oblivion was good enough that I actually, you know, gave it 80 hours of my life or whatever, where most of these role-playing type games, you know, I'd pick them up, maybe play them for 3 or 4 hours and be like, yeah, you know, this isn't worth my time, you know, to put this level of
So you're not going to run out and mortgage your house to buy PlayStation 3 to play Final Fantasy 96 or whatever?
No, I can't imagine I will. And I haven't bought the Final Fantasy game for the 360, which they've got.
Oh, Final Fantasy Online?
Yeah, because I don't really feel like paying a subscription.
Final Fantasy X2, Girls Gone Wild,
yeah.
On the PS2. Yeah, what's this, Final Fantasy 7, like Verge of Cerberus or whatever?
Yeah, I don't even know what. It almost looks like it's like a fighting game or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's based off Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah,
because it's like the classic.
How many revs do you go?
I know, but that's like making like Star Trek 2 Part 2.
Yeah,
which would be cool, even though it kind of was already Star Trek Nemesis. Which wasn't cool, but you know, I don't know. But think about it, it's like they take this classic game and they basically make a sequel to it. Yeah, that's kind of what that is. I mean, it looks like a shooting game or something. Yeah, it doesn't look like a typical. I mean, I haven't read much about it, but the screenshots I thought it didn't look like a typical Final Fantasy game. Okay, topic 2: best and worst controllers of the ages. Now we have these written down, and being a negative person myself, I'd like to start with the worst. It's the first in the list.
Yeah, the first one that we came up with was the wonderful Intellivision controller. It has to be the worst controller of all time.
Well, you know, some of the younger listeners out there might not even remember it, which is good.
Yeah, that's a good thing for you. Don't look it up on Google. It'd be a bad thing.
Yes, it would probably give you eye cancer or something. But
it was basically a rectangle with a phone cord hanging out of it, basically, that had a little number pad on it and a disc.
The disc was the up, down, left, right.
Yeah, and then the number pad area, when you bought your games, you would actually get little cards with the games that you would have to slip in over the top of the numbers, and then that would tell you what those buttons did for that particular game. And the buttons barely even responded. You didn't even know if you were pushing them or not. It was just horrible.
And then on the sides of the controller were the 4 action buttons, even though I think they were all the same thing. The button itself is actually part of the controller plastic mold, so it pushed in about as much tactile sensation as like a plastic battery door on a Walkman. But that was the action button that you'd use to shoot pills in microsurgery or whatever else a person would do with their television. I never really understood the card overlay thing. I mean, the ColecoVision had that, and hell, even the Jaguar.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems so complicated. I mean, you don't need that now.
And you don't need it on computer games where you have, you know, like 50 keys that do things. Maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing on computer games. I don't know.
It's just one more thing to get lost.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like 6 or whatever.
Yeah, I remember it was annoying, you know, because you'd have to, you know, you'd want to change games. I actually never owned one, thank goodness. I had a friend that did, but, you know, you'd change games and be like, oh crap, where are the cards at, you know, and so you'd have to go and dig them up if whoever played last didn't bother to put them away properly.
Highly likely.
And it sucked. Terrible.
Well, I guess in the same token, I think we have ColecoVision written down as another crappy controller, don't we?
Yes, which I never played.
Hey babe, what's up? I'm home. You're welcome. Okay.